Okay, and we are live. Welcome to Speech of Cake's second Facebook Live. We are super excited to be here. If you are watching the replay, hashtag replay, so that way we know you are here. This Facebook Live is going to be all about our award-winning Summer Enrichment Program. We are super excited to share information and details about this program. We have had great success over the years, and our program is just continuing to grow. So here with me tonight, I have our founder, Courtney Overton, and co-founder, Lee Hutchinson, and they're going to be answering a few questions this evening. So I'm going to make sure we are looking good on Facebook here. Wait for a couple other people to hop on. Okay, and it looks like we are good, and we have a few people watching. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. So the first I am going to ask you guys. So when did Speech of Cake start this Summer Enrichment Program? And we call this our award-winning program. What awards have we won?
Yeah, Lee and I started the Summer Enrichment Program in 2017. So we were working together, prior to that, and we thought that it would be a great idea because as educators with Fairfax County Public Schools, we really saw the need because so many students, they didn't qualify for the extended school year program. So we thought that, we could have a similar program in our area that would help students meet those needs and fill the gap. So we call it reducing the summer slide because, in the summer month, you don't get as much academic instruction. So we thought that having month-long program in the month of July to help kids with speech, language, and literacy would be a great idea, especially because all of those concepts really tie in together really nicely. So when you're learning how to read, you're understanding that a letter is associated with the sound, and then you speak that sound, so it all ties in together. In 2017, we had a few students, and we've been growing ever since. And we did win Northern Virginia Magazine Best Summer Camp in Northern Virginia region. And this is our third year. 2021 is our third award in a row.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a pretty awesome program. We're definitely proud of it. So the next question I have, so what is our student-to-teacher ratio going to be this year?
Sure, I can answer this one. So this summer, due to the pandemic, we are at a smaller teacher-to-student ratio. So we have one classroom that's about 700 square feet, so it's a pretty large size room. And we have 8 students to 2 teachers. So it's a small student-to-teacher ratio. And even if you sign up for the morning program or the afternoon program, your child will still be one of 8 total.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so definitely, guys, if you're here, be sure to leave comments. We will definitely answer them either within the broadcast or shortly after. We will do a Q&A session. So those of you watching, be sure you leave any questions in the comments, and we will get to those. So the next question that I get often is, so do we group these students by age? Because our program is also from what age do we offer the program for? And how do we group?
So the program's from 4 to 10 years old, and because even a 4-year-old has different levels of abilities, we don't group them by their age. So instead, we actually do assessments prior to the program, typically in the spring, like around April or May. And that gives us really good information to know their speech, language, and literacy abilities so that we can group them appropriately. So when we then eventually get into July, we usually have smaller groups. So the concept is the same, but we're not going to teach, it the same way. So Lee, do you want to pick up and elaborate on that one?
Sure. So when the summertime starts, we have a better understanding of your child, and we group them on needs based. So if their need is articulation and they are working on the R sound, they'll be working with other children that are working on articulation, and the same thing with reading and writing and spelling. But the great thing about that small class size is we start off in morning meeting all together, and then throughout the sessions, they go off into little breakout groups and work with just those two teachers. So you might have a group of 4 and 4 or 6 and 2. So it's a really small, intimate setting, and it's definitely individualized to meet the needs of all the kids. And we use these programs to help them reach their goals, and we collect data throughout the week or the month, depending on how often your child signs up. I think that answers your question.
Yes, yes. And then at the end of the program, each parent receives kind of a little bit, kind of like a report, right?
Yeah, so we summarize the data from that initial evaluation, which I think we'll get into later. And then the whole month of July, or however often the child comes. So we collect data throughout the month of July. And then in August, we compile a report. And so you not only are signing up for a summer camp, but you're also given a report, which is very individualized and unique to Speech of Cake compared to other camps.
Right, right. Okay, and so students, can they sign up for all 4 weeks? How does that work?
It's really just dependent upon parent preference. So, we've seen a lot of progress for students that attend for at least 2 weeks for the full day from 9 to 4. But we also understand, if you do qualify for that extended school year program that we talked about before, and you want to go there every morning and then come to us in the afternoon, that's totally fine. Or if you want to do some other combination of camps, like come to us, and then the second part of July, go to a cooking camp or a soccer camp. We're totally flexible with, whatever the family needs and what works for the family.
Right, right. Okay, so let's touch base a little bit more in depth on those reports that parents will receive, as well as those evaluations that they're expected to do right before the camp starts.
Courtney, do you want to talk about the evaluation, and then I can talk about the end?
Yep. So last year, because of COVID, we did everything online. It was a successful model because we were able to just, work with a student and then immediately go to the next student, and it was really time efficient. But when we did work with the students individually, we usually broke it up where myself and another speech pathologist, Erin, we would listen to the student's speech sounds, and we would also evaluate them on language abilities. So we would ask them common questions like, when's your birthday? How do you like to celebrate your birthday? Just to listen to how they formulate sentences and explain things. Also asking them questions like, how do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, to listen to the sequencing skills and vocabulary skills too. And then they usually sign up for a second slot with Lee and another teacher's assistant, where they do a literacy evaluation, and typically Lee's looking for those phonics skills. So how well they understand that letter sound correspondence, and how well they can read anything from PVC words like cup all the way to more complex words. And that information helps us, as we said, develop those groups for the month of July. And then we use that information to help us plan accordingly, get materials together, and make sure that everything is appropriate to what the student needs.
Right, right. Okay. All right.
Lee, did you want to talk about the other end?
Yeah, sure. So then based on the first evaluation, we create a few goals for each student, and then We collect data throughout the week on those goals. So if we see that your child needs to work on letter sound correspondence, like A, apple, or CVC words or comprehension, we have data or we have our own goals to help us as teachers work with your child, but also data to collect. And then we use that data to write a final report. So we kind of gather all the information together and we summarize it. As a staff, we make sure we're not missing anything. We look at the literacy piece, the speech and language piece, and also some social skills piece, because that's also super important right now, social emotional. And then we write a report and we give a few recommendations, and then parents can use that report as they please to help them in the future as they progress throughout elementary school. They might give it to their teacher in the beginning of the year to help their special ed teacher or their general ed teacher guide their child with their learning.
Sure. Excellent. Okay. And again, one of the questions that I get a lot is, where is our program located at? So where are we going to be having our program this year?
So last year, as well as this year, is the same location. It's in Old Town, and it's at 601 King Street, which is right by the Chipotle. So it's really nice to have the Old Town location, because sometimes during that lunch hour, we would take the kids out for little treats, like we would get cookies at a local bakery, or we would go to a cupcakery and get cupcakes. Sometimes we got ice cream. So it's nice to have that location to be able to venture out into the community.
Yeah. All right. And another question is, how is lunch and recess handled outside?
Sure, so I can answer that. So a few students do select to stay for the full day, and those students will go with 2 staff members. Am I echoing?
No, I think you're okay.
Okay. Those 2 students, it's usually less than 8, will go with 2 staff members to a local park, which is about 0.3 miles away. And they'll have lunch and recess there. So it's an hour-long break. So about 25 minutes to eat. And we've got some nice picnic tables and a big swing set. And then after the staff have make sure everyone's eaten what they need to eat and they're all good, they can play. And then they walk back together as a group back to 601 King Street. And we have one of those cute little ropes that everybody holds a color and we stay together. And we make sure we're practicing safety, because we are in a little city, but the kids really respond and love it. So it's good to get outside.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you guys brief a little bit on our program refund policy and the deposit that's required?
So we have the early registration, which is before April 5th. So right now, still in that early registration time. So if you register before April 5th, you have until June 5th to change your weeks. So like I said before, you may change your mind and then you say you want to go to a different kind of camp, which is totally fine with us. You do have ample time to make some changes, and we will refund you your deposit. So typically when you register, you put down 50% deposit, and that secures your spot. And then when you attend the program, we charge the remaining 50% the first week that your child attends. So for the refund policy, you'll be refunded if you give us notice in writing by June 5th. So after June 5th is where the registration fee will be refunded, only if you provide a doctor's note or if there's a medical emergency. And we don't issue refunds, unfortunately, for non-attendance, for sicknesses or vacations, and other things like changes in schedules. But we accept that deposit, the 50% deposit, and we typically refund that to you on the credit card that you have on file.
Right. And those notices, should anything come up where you need to change your weeks or something just doesn't work out, do email those to me. My email is mandy@speechofcakeinc.com. My email is also posted on the website, speechofcakeinc.com/summer. So should that need to be done, just send those over to me and I will get that taken care of. Okay, so I think that is the last of our questions. I guess we can wait a couple minutes, do a little Q&A session, see if anyone happens to pop on to ask a few questions.
Awesome.
All right, we'll give people a few minutes here. And
We
otherwise,
are also full. Our summer camp is full.
yes,
That's important to know.
Yes, our summer camp is full right now. Of course, things can change, but yes, we are currently full. If you have any questions, just feel free to email us or send us a message on our website, and we are happy to answer your questions.
Yep, and you can always email Mandy to be added to the wait list because, as I said,
Yes.
the current families have until June 5th to change their mind. So you never know what can happen. We are taking a tally and writing down names as they come in.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so it doesn't look like we have any questions at this time, so we'll go ahead and close our Facebook Live. Thank you guys for watching, and keep an eye out on our Facebook page. We will be going live once a month, and I will get that next Facebook Live posted with the date and time here probably within the next week or so. And if you have any questions or topics that you would want us to brief on, feel free to either comment on this Facebook Live. We would be happy to take requests and answer your questions on certain topics. Otherwise, we will see you next month.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.